Hello students, welcome to Veranda IAS. In this session of Geography Foundation course, we'll be seeing the introduction to geography. What is geography? Geography is the study about landforms, physical features, and the phenomena that we experience and see in our day-to-day life. What is the learning objective of this particular session? We'll see what is geography, the classifications of geography, and how to link current affairs with geography. So what is geography? Geography is a study of places and the relationship between the people and its environment. The most important definition over here is, it is a field of science devoted to the study of lands, features, inhabitants, and the phenomenon of the earth and the planets. To say, why do we want to study about the landforms, features, and the inhabitants? To get an idea about what we live in and how all the landform that we live in evolved. So these are the basics of geography and definition of geography. Geography of a region actually influences the socio-political, cultural, and economic aspects of the region. For example, Arabian Peninsula is rich in oil resources. That very resource makes the region very rich peninsula in the world. So this is the economic aspect of the geography. So geography determines the economic aspect of a region. It also determines the socio-political aspect and the culture. See, you have different culture living in the mainland of India, and those living in Andaman, especially the interior of Andaman, they'll have a different culture. Even there are certain tribes who are totally secluded from the mainland of India, and their food, clothing, culture are totally different with respect to mainland India and Andaman. Even without comparing tribes, if you see the culture within the India and within state, there are different types of culture. So geography of a region influences the socio-political, cultural, and economic. How socio-political? There is always tug-of-war between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka with regard to the sharing of Kaveri river water. This is another socio-political aspect of geography, because the geographical feature called river Kaveri is being shared between these two states. That is the reason behind the tug-of-war. There is another state also involved in this sharing of river, that is Kerala. But only these two states are always in the news. What is the reason? So all these are the reasons behind the influence of geography over the region and the socio-political environment. The food, clothing, migration, festivals, and other social practices are related to the geography of a region. Let us take the aspect of food. People in North India, their staple food is roti and dal, whereas people in South India, their staple food will be rice. Whereas people in Northeast, their staple food will be smoked pork or it will be fishes. So it depends upon the geographical location of those regions. That determines the food, clothing, migration, festivals. So everything will be different. We talked about the regional difference within the country. Even if you take a state, say Madhya Pradesh, a part of Madhya Pradesh will be having different food. Famous food will be there, different locality of Madhya Pradesh, different clothing will be there in different part of Madhya Pradesh. So these like geography determines all these aspects of a region. And the physical resource of a region determines the economy of it. As we said, the Arabian Peninsula, rich in oil, their economic aspect has been determined by the geographical richness. So these are the definitions of geography. Next, what is the other definition of geography? Geography is defined as the study of world's physical surface, physical quality, climate, population, and products. Certain countries are famous for certain products. For example, India is famous for its spices, whereas France is famous for its wine. What is the reason behind it? Its natural, climatic, and vegetative condition helps for growth of certain products that forms as the trademark of that particular country. And geography helps us to understand the temporal and spatial analysis along with the scale. For example, a mountain doesn't get built in a day. It takes over time. So it takes years to get built. So that is the temporal analysis. Analyzing a landform or any concept as such in geography over time. That is the temporal analysis part. What is spatial analysis? The same example, mountain. Spatial analysis, we are not studying about a single mountain system. We are talking about the mountain system all over the world. So we are comparing and contrasting along with their scale, that is their dimensions and measurements. So that is how geography helps us to understand the temporal and spatial analysis of any physical landform. And it also helps us to understand the features and phenomena on the earth that we come across in our day-to-day life. We all know this concept, that is, if it is a hot sunny day, it will be very hot until maybe 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, we will be having heavy rain. We know this phenomenon happens. What is the reason behind this phenomenon? These day-to-day phenomenon will be dealt with in this subject so that you have a better understanding about the world we live in. So these are the definitions and forms of geography. Let us see about the syllabus for geography for our prelims exam point of view. It talks about the Indian and world geography. That is physical geography, that talks about the geomorphology, oceanography and climatology. Whereas social and economic geography part is the human geography aspect. How the physical feature, how the geography of a region affects the social and economic aspect of the region. So this we are not talking about just India, we are talking about India as well as the world. Though the syllabus of prelims is just one line, there are so many concepts involved in this one line. Next we shall see the syllabus for mains geography GS1. It talks about the world's physical geography, that is geomorphology, oceanography and climatology. It also talks about the key natural resource across the world. What are the resources that are distributed across the world due to the geographical features? And we'll also read about the factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector. Primary in the sense those products that we get from the nature directly, like farming, fishing and mining. Secondary is about the manufacturing sector. What are the factors responsible for the location of the manufacturing sector? For example, what are the features for car manufacturing sector or automobile manufacturing sector? Whereas tertiary sector is about the service sector. The service sector are of information technology, communication, tourism, banking, all those are the service sector. These are what are the location factors responsible for these three industrial sectors primarily. And actually I'm talking about just a part of the syllabus. There is even more elaborate version of this line and syllabus. So we shall deal with that in the upcoming classes. And next we will be talking about the geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, yes we have seen in the news, tsunami, yes we heard about it, and volcanic activity as well as cyclones. Cyclones we experience it every year being in India. So what are the physical phenomena that causes disturbance to our human existence? All these are regarded as natural disasters. What are the mechanisms behind the formation of these natural disasters? So I will also see into the critical geographical features associated with the same. Next we shall go into the classification of geography. Geography can be classified as physical geography, human and economic geography. These two, when read along with the context of India, it is called as the Indian geography. So these are the main classifications of geography with regard to the exam, and we'll also look into the map with regard to all three above topics. Map for physical geography, Indian geography and human and economic geography. Now let us see what is physical geography. Physical geography deals with the process and pattern of natural environment, that is Earth's surface, that is geomorphology, atmosphere, about the climate, hydrosphere, about the ocean. So all these three are the important heroes of our physical geography. Next we'll be dealing with the human geography. It is the analysis of interplay between people, society and the environment. How the physical environment that we live in plays an important role in the people and society as such, their evolution as such. So that is the human geography. This can be subdivided into two subparts, namely economic geography and social geography. Economic geography is that studies about the economic activities like agriculture, industries and services with respect to the geographical area and resources. So how a economy of a region is determined by the geographical feature of that particular region. Whereas social geography, it talks about the society as such with regard to the geography. It talks about demographics, poverty, literacy, unemployment, etc. with respect to geographical perspective. Which part of the world is regarded as the poorer country and which is regarded as the rich country. All these things are dealt with this in human geography through economic as well as social geography. Next we shall see what is Indian geography. A comprehensive study of physical geography and human geography with reference to India is called as the Indian geography. And map learning of India and world is essential as part of the subject, and this also gives us a better understanding to approach the subject, and it will help us retain memory because of the visual representation of maps. Also, linking the subject with current affairs is very essential because the exams demand is as that you have to link the static part with the current affairs, so that you can get hold of the subject and cater the demand of the exam as well. Next, how to link the current affairs with geography. Make note of all national and international news that's happening around you in the recent past, maybe say 1 year or 1.5 years. See, for example, if there is unrest in a country, note the geographical area and look into the features with regard to that particular area. For example, Syrian crisis. It happened few years back. There was a question regarding the countries nearby Syria and nearby the Mediterranean Sea. Because of the unrest, there was so much of migration. So this was a question by the UPSC. And recently there is a unrest in Myanmar because of the coup. So there might be a potential question like, what are the Indian states that is bordering the country of Myanmar? So these are the questions, these are the topics that had hit the news and had made a huge impact in the international arena. So these might form the important question with regard to the geography and current affairs part. Sinai Peninsula. The Suez Canal issue, a blockade of ship in Suez Canal had disturbed the world trade for about 6 days. There is a peninsula called Sinai Peninsula near the Suez Canal. We all know Suez Canal, but we have very less knowledge about Suez Canal. So you have to, if you get a region in news, we have to not just look into the region. We are supposed to look into the region in and around that particular area, so that we get a fuller perspective about that particular issue. If there is water dispute that is hitting the news continuously, make note of it. Make note of the tributaries with regard to the particular river water, and also see what are the states that is sharing particular river. For example, say Kaveri. There has been often dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu with regard to the sharing of river water. There is one more state also involved in this sharing, that is Kerala. Why that is not fighting for the river? The reason behind it, if you keep analyzing these things with regard to the recent current affairs regarding the geography of India, you'll have a better knowledge about how to connect the current affairs and the subject as such. So if you are talking about river Kaveri, study the origin and its tributaries as well, because it is often in the news. So having a clear understanding about its origin and tributaries helps you in the prelims as well as mains. So this is how we are supposed to link the current affairs aspect. Hope this session was useful, and let us meet in the next session. Thank you.